Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Lorna's story. We're picking up right where we left off, right after you and your team all got tattoos by Inky in the Grand Marshana of Shorewatch. You had described that you were on your way to the Alchemedia, where you had a challenge by one mage by the name of Tulia. How is Lorna feeling about that, by the way?
It feels awesome. She can fly now, so that's pretty cool. So even if she loses the duel, like she still has that going for her. But I think it's gonna give her a distinct edge that she didn't have when she woke up this morning.
That she can fly.
Yeah, and she's excited to demonstrate a spell or two that she's made to, somebody who isn't from the Marigard, not like her instructor or her classmates who are also, and no one else really gave a shit about her spell work, even in the Marigard, besides the other wizard students.
Sure.
So this is going to be exciting. It's kind of like a debut for her.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. I've pulled you over to the map. Let me look at my notes here. Okay, this building here is the Alchemedia.
Huh?
Yes. As you make your way there, I think there should be a way for me to reveal you this note.
I can see it.
Oh.
Journal notes is a tab on the left side that I can click on and off now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can see the Alchemedia. There's likely a few other notes that you
Yeah,
can
I
see.
see Temple of Anna, I see the statue of Megara, Temple of Nier, Temple
Okay.
of Mosander, etc.
Fair enough. As you make your way towards the Alchemedia, following the instructions that Tulia had given you, I need you to roll me a D100.
Okay. 66.
Okay. 66. I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. One second. Dexterity saving throw is a 7.
Okay. Here's what happens. You're making your way through the streets, and you take a turn into an alley heading towards the structure that you know to be the Alchemedia. As you do, you suddenly hear, "Look out below!" And you don't react in time. A clothesline, laden with heavy, wet clothes, suddenly slams into you, and you are cast aside to the edge of the alley. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh.
As it's like a brick that was on the end of the clothesline just bangs into the side of your leg. And you hear from above, "Oh, I'm sorry! Are you alright?" And you look up, and there is a red-haired dwarven woman who looks like middling age is holding her head and is freaking out. She's like 4 stories up in this lopsided building.
I'm okay. Ow.
"Oh, I'm sorry, dear. She looks around and she then says, "Have you got a poultice?"
Oh, don't worry about it. Do you need this? Like, she kind of picks up the end that hit her.
Yeah.
Do you
She's
need this?
She's nodding at you. "Oh, I certainly do, but I can come down and get it."
No, how high up is she?
4 stories, so about
Like
30, 35 feet.
Okay. Mage Hand can get me 30. Anscombe, can you pick me up?
Okay.
I just need to be up 5 feet.
Sure. And he just sets you on his shoulders.
Like a cheerleading routine.
Yeah.
She'll cast Mage Hand and lift it the other 30 feet up.
Okay.
The extra 30.
It's like
So
4
it
pounds, so you can totally do that.
deposits into her hand.
She's... Oh, bless you, dear!
Yeah, no, maybe just secure it better next time.
It slipped right out of my hand. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You know, everybody makes mistakes.
You alright?
Yeah, yeah. I had 12 temporary hit points, so I'm still okay.
Not really sure how that means, but okay. I'm glad you're fine.
I had a really good breakfast or
alright.
dinner. I can't remember. It's been a minute.
That's what you rolled. That's your minor
Just
encounter.
get clobbered.
Yeah. You make it the rest of the way until you arrive at the Alchemedia, which is... It's a structure that doesn't look like an academy. How do I describe this?
It's Wizard Underground fighting. So I didn't imagine it to look like a Hogwarts.
That's good. Your first guess is that it looks like it was maybe at one point, perhaps a painter's studio or an art supply. The structure itself, on the outside, you see that there is all sorts of colors painted across the trim, but there is no sign. There's no label to the building. The door is cracked, and as you're kind of like looking at it, the door opens the rest of the way, and you spot Tulia.
Oh. Lorna will kind of like lift her hand in like a finger wave.
I see you came.
Yeah, sorry. It took longer than I expected.
I kind of assumed that you scampered off somewhere else.
Nope. I take challenges very seriously.
All right. Come on in, I'll show you around.
As they're heading up to the building, Lorna's gonna kind of like look sideways at Skolna and be like, "This is fine, right? You're not getting a weird feeling."
Let's see if Skolna gets a weird feeling. She shrugs.
All right. She'll trust Skolna's instincts.
Okay.
Head inside.
As you head inside, it is well lit. And while it did look like it was at one point a painter studio, the floor is lined with these what look like straw mats. And on the far side, you can see there are doors that open out to the alley behind the structure. It's very airy and loose in here. And it gives you, well, dojo vibes, almost.
Oh yeah.
And Tulia basically, like, steps out into the middle of the straw mat, and she points, and she says, This is our practical practice area, where we, see if our spells are as good at taking someone unawares or, practicing magical combat.
What is your space's opinion on collateral damage?
She considers the question. And then a voice from someone you didn't see until they just spoke. Another, like, you see he's seated in the corner of the room, like crisscross applesauce, reveals himself. He's wearing a long cloak and robes. He says, Should you manage to damage my studio, I would be impressed.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Thanks for the invitation, I suppose.
Tulia is always looking for potential, resources. You can call me Professor Daring.
Professor Daring.
Derring.
That's a cool name. I hope to impress you both.
Before any fireworks. Where are you from?
Across the pond.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he's asking for specifics.
He's asking, you see he's like gesturing for more, basically.
Candinos.
You do not sound Indonesian.
My father was very clear in his education on not developing an accent.
I see. Well, to be ashamed of where one is from, well, perhaps there is more, and I would not pry.
Lorna just nods. Let him think what he wants.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I am from here, Shorewatch. This is the childhood home.
This
This building was my father's. He was a tailor. Since he passed away, I have found the academics that I could share with my pupils. This is an adequate space for it. Are you interested in studying? Or are you here expressly for violence?
I'm always interested in knowledge.
Well then. First, your challenge. Tulia said this is a book duel, yes?
He mentioned winner can pick a spell from the other's book.
I see. That is what we call a book challenge, a book duel.
So you have other types of duels as well.
Yes, though they are typically more final.
Final.
To the death?
Lorna, like, her face immediately, like, concerned, brow furrowing. Oh, how often do you have those kinds of duels?
Very rarely. Typically only once someone is truly wronged.
So, like an honor battle.
You could say that.
All right. You know, I think a book duel's fine.
I assumed so. He gestures and Tulia says, "Right, so have you ever had a wizard duel before?"
Yes, I actually, my graduation entailed me fighting one-on-one with my instructor.
Oh, did they follow Aurelian rules, or did they go something...
He's from Terracona, so I don't know if he was following a particular set of rules or not.
I see.
He's also a dragon, so maybe that matters?
Perhaps. Let me lay the groundwork for then. Just see if it was anything like how we do things. In a wizard duel, you cast a spell, I cast a spell. Whichever one is more potent is likely to make the other cave first. We recover, we try again, and the first to yield is the first to lose. We do set some ground rules, such as no paralyzation, no incapacitation, and no mind control. No telling someone to concede.
Well, that's just not... I mean, where's the spirit in that, right?
You get the point. Anything else is on the table.
I do want to just clarify. This is a fight, right?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that if I threw a punch, you wouldn't be like, what the hell?
It is I mean, I'd be surprised. Most wizards don't use physical.
I mean, when you've got guns like these, and she kind of flexes her emaciated little arms.
Oh, it was a joke. I see. Okay. Well, if you should choose to throw a punch at me, I would be surprised, but it's within the rules. Again, it's the first to yield, or the first to fall unconscious. Good old Professor Daring will ensure no one perishes.
Sounds like fun.
Are you ready?
She'll flex her hand and use her prosthetics built-in mage hand. And then she'll say, yeah, now I'm ready.
Tulia reaches into basically the waist where the sash is tied and suddenly draws a wand, a long one that you didn't expect. She says, me too. Roll initiative.
Oh boy. I also meant mage armor, not mage hand.
I figured.
You figured, yeah. All right. This +1 for initiative. Time to shine, Lorna.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, I'm
That's
sure...
a natural one for me.
I'm sure it's no surprise. Tulia's going first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One moment. We need fighting music.
Did you remove the zoom in feature when you scroll over an icon?
No, it should still work.
It does not. It doesn't even ping these as tokens for me. Maybe I need to reload. I'm gonna reload.
Okay. You go ahead and do that.
Ah, yep, there it goes. It was me. I was the problem.
All right. One moment.
I'm assuming that Lorna's party has either found seating or, a place of rest.
Anscombe's like leaning against the door with his arms folded. You don't know where Skolna is. In a room that's basically open. You don't know where Skolna is.
Yeah.
Tier is paying close attention. And Noré is like kind of pacing back and forth, looking around the room.
Does she look unsettled or uncomfortable?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. Can this insight check apply for everybody in her party, just to kind of see where their headspace is at? Sure. I rolled a 29, by the way. A natural 20 for a 29.
Anscombe is waiting to see what your opponent has in store for you. He seems pretty confident that you're going to be fine. Tier is clearly investigating. Like his head's on a swivel. He's like searching with his eyes, Professor Daring, and looking around the room. Noré looks like she's like searching for doors to other rooms, but she's not finding any.
Okay. I mean, good thing I have two people in my party who and Skolna, I guess, wherever the fuck she is, who are like, I should maybe know our exits and be aware of what's happening. Lorna's like, yeah, let's duel.
Okay. Yeah, no kidding. All right. Tulia flicks the wand towards you, and she is not wasting any time. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, man.
Now, for these wizard duels, all saving throws are save or suck.
Oh, okay.
That goes for the NPC, too.
Yeah.
So you succeed. Freezing, icy air blasts towards you, and you manage to just basically embrace yourself and endure it, and you take no damage.
Okay. Can I tell what kind of spell that was? Was it like a ray of frost or a...
Roll Arcana.
Sorry if she's coming out with cantrips or if she's using spells. Ooh, terrible. 12.
You couldn't tell how powerful that spell was, but it was above a cantrip.
Okay. All right, this is my turn.
One moment. Yes, it's your turn.
Okay, so Lorna, not wasting any time either, and really excited to show off some magic of her own. Uh, she will. She's gonna do lift her hands, close her hands so that they're knuckles, and then like tap the knuckles together, and she's going to cast Lorna's Guise of the Golem.
Okay.
And she's Porcelain Lorna now. Which means I get 15 temporary hit points.
Okay.
Replaces the 8 I had.
Yes, it does.
You gain Vova. I haven't used this in a minute. My natural armor is now 16.
Seeing you take a defensive spell, or what looks like a defensive spell, Tulia raises an eyebrow, and then she points the wand towards herself on her turn. She casts... Well, she goes invisible, suddenly.
Great.
Or she vanishes, or you're not sure. Roll me Arcana. Based on the somatics you saw.
19.
Oh, you know that she casted Blink.
So it's just a matter of waiting.
Yes. She will appear, you just don't know where.
For knowing that it's Blink, for Lorna's part, she is going to try to perceive where she might appear.
Okay, roll me... So, the thing is that when you're on the ethereal plane, you are undetectable by those on the prime material.
Right. So there isn't really any, like, rustling or movement that she could possibly...
There's nothing to hear. It's on a different plane. What you could do is try and guess, because you know that she's going to reappear within 10 feet of where she disappeared from.
Okay. And does Lorna know if she has control over that, or if Blink is random? I can't remember.
Let's see. She does get to choose.
Okay, so Lorna is going to try to make an educated guess on where she might appear within 10 feet.
Okay.
And be ready for it.
Roll an intelligence check.
Okay. 17?
Okay. I'm going to contest that. Okay. You choose a place. Are you hoping to be near that spot, or are you...
Yeah, she wants to... She's, like, pulling back a haymaker, because she's a puncher, which
so
is
you're
hilarious.
holding an unarmed strike for when she appears.
Yeah, she's going to clobber her if she gets the chance.
Okay.
Because they made a whole joke about her not being able to punch anything.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you do that. With that roll, she reappears behind you, which triggers both your unarmed strike and also the spell that she's going to cast. So, go ahead and make your unarmed strike.
Let me double check that I'm reading this correctly. Use your intelligence modifier instead of a strength or dexterity. And I'm proficient, so can I make a spell casting attack?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that what we agreed to? Okay. 21.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, so it's 1d4 plus your intelligence modifier, so it'll be 1d4 plus 5.
Okay.
For the first slap to the face. Ah, max damage! 9 points as I punch her in the face.
Okay. She, like, staggers back, surprised, and then she focuses on what she was casting, and she casts, Cloud of Daggers.
Did I get like a full turn?
So you can...
When I punched her?
You're using your reaction to use your held action, which means that you get the whole action, basically.
Okay, because I can make a bonus action punch again.
No, because she was...
That's what I'm wondering.
She was not there.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
You just get the one
I
strike.
punch her in the face.
Okay.
Cloud of Daggers. Understood.
Yes, which, unfortunately, there's no save. You just are in daggers for the moment.
Yes.
And you want to move. So, one moment, please. What happened to the music? That's a 3, 5, 8, 12. 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay, I still have temp HP. And do I have to make a concentration check?
Yes, you do.
Okay. And it's 10, I believe. It's my threshold. I rolled a 12. I'm good.
Yes, you are fine. You maintain concentration on poor Lorna.
Poor Lorna.
But you are aware that you should try and get out of the cloud of daggers, and I'm going to roll to see if she disappears. She does not. She stays there. She will bonus action, because she did not like getting punched in the face. No, she won't. She will save that. Okay. That was your turn, then her turn. Now it's your turn again.
Okay. Do I take damage at the top of the round because of the Cloud of Daggers?
Or
Or is it...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. That's 4. That's 6. That's 9. That's 10. 10 points
Damn,
of
these
slashing
daggers
damage.
are not fucking around. Okay, I'm gonna get out of that. Alright, and then my concentration check is... Oh, I rolled a 9. I have 1 inspiration left. I am
Okay.
going to bump that up to a success.
Okay, you do that.
Oh, because that would suck if I just dropped it immediately. Lorna, still in the cloud of daggers and taking that damage. She, Tulia is right in front of her, right?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Tulia is right in front of her, right?
Yes.
She's going to kick out and kick her in the chest.
Okay.
That is a 21 to hit.
Well, that hits.
D4 plus 5. 7 points of damage.
Okay.
And Lorna is going to follow the momentum and get out of the cloud of daggers.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to make a bonus action punch again. Which also includes your intelligence modifier. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I just get a second punch. I rolled a 23 to hit.
That hits better than the first one.
Okay, D4 plus 5. Another max damage, so 7 and then 9 points of damage.
Okay. She's going to make 2 concentration checks. She fails it immediately. The cloud of daggers vanishes into gray mist.
That was a mean spell.
You've punched her in the face 3 times.
I kicked her in the chest once.
Okay, sorry. She's like...
She didn't expect to get punched so many times.
No. On her turn, she looks at you, and she's going to cast, at second level, suddenly colors in your face. This is not a save.
Chromatic orb?
Nope, this is color spray. Okay. Oh, I'm just going to use this thing. That would take forever. Okay. What's your total hit points right now?
Oh my god, okay. 30.
You are blinded.
Ah!
The brilliant colors just flash in your face. You can't see anything. You are blinded. That's her turn.
Fuck.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
hold on. I need to see if she goes... She does not. She's still on this plane.
Is Requiem? Like, he's just out, right? Just a dog? I never specified whether he was or wasn't.
That's up to you.
This matters. Yeah, can he be sitting next to Anscombe?
Then. You can.
Can Lorna telepathically communicate? Where is she? In proximity to me. So that she can punch more successfully than blindly.
So you're not going to resolve. You're still going to be at disadvantage.
Wow, okay. Never mind.
Like, you can't... Yeah, that's...
I mean,
get
that'd be
around.
cool.
No,
All right.
that's breaking the rules.
All right. She's going to strike out.
Go ahead and make an attack at disadvantage.
Uh, 21.
You hit.
Yeah, I'm rolling really well. And then it is 90. Is it a concentration check for her, or am I just blinded until a certain amount of time?
You are blinded until the end of her next turn.
Okay. So
She
bonus
still has
action.
to make. No, she doesn't. She has no concentrations to make.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bonus
so
action
she
punch
takes
again.
8
I'm assuming at
points.
disadvantage.
Still a disadvantage, yes.
Lorna's really determined to prove that she can pack a wall up if she wants to. Another 21.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you hit.
She's wildly swinging and just connecting. Nobody taught this wizard to duck. 6 points of damage.
She's doing her best to dodge. You just are rolling really well. Okay. That's
Laura's turn.
okay.
She's really trying to get the bang for her buck out of this spell.
Roll perception at disadvantage.
Okay. Damn. 19 out of 4, so 10 total.
Okay, she steps away from you and you don't know.
Right, I don't get my opportunity attack.
She is going to cast a cantrip at you.
Huh?
It is an advantage because you are blinded. That's a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hits.
We'll just roll damage here. Okay.
Well, actually, can I use silvery barbs?
Do you have to see it?
I don't see that word. You magically distract the triggering creature and turn its momentary uncertainty into encouragement for another character. Hold on. The triggering creature must reroll a d20. You can choose a different creature. You can see within range. You can then choose a different creature you can see within range. So it doesn't say I have to see the person I'm disadvantaging, but I have to see the person I'm advantaging.
I think because you cannot see, you don't see the somatics happening.
I will concede, but it doesn't say I have to see them.
Okay. You get hit by a firebolt for 13
Okay.
points of fire damage.
Ow! That's a spicy firebolt. I will roll my concentration check. Shit, that's a natural 1, and I don't have anything for that.
Is.
So, Porcelorna is gone.
Okay. As Porcelana falls, you also see at the end of Tulia's turn, the colors finally disappear, and you can see her. Let me roll.
Oh, that was annoying.
She's still on this plane. Blink has failed her a number of times. What do you do?
I am going to cast... Is this concentration? Yes, she is going to cast blindness on Tulia.
Okay.
It's a con 17 save.
She rolled a 6.
Is she blind now?
I guess.
And for my bonus action, I am 5th level, so I'm going to use another 2nd level spell slot to cast Dragon's Breath on myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to imbue myself with
There's
lightning.
blindness concentration.
You're right. Never mind. I always try to do that. I always try to use Dragon's Breath on something when I'm already concentrating. Never mind. You are correct.
Okay.
I don't think I have a bonus action. I can utilize that. No, I do not. Lorna is going to move from where she's standing, from the last place Tulia saw her, so that
Okay.
she's not
You do
standing
that.
there.
Tulia's blind.
Haha.
She, her eyes are just, misted over, and she's, twisting her head. Roll me a stealth check at advantage.
Okay.
She will roll a perception at disadvantage
I
to
actually
try and
already have
protect you.
advantage. What am I wearing something? I'm wearing the Cloak of Elvenkind.
Okay. Roll stealth. No.
I rolled
She rolled
a
one.
17.
She has no
So
idea
did
where you
I,
are.
but I had an advantage, thank God.
Yeah. She is going to... You watch as she casts Burning Hands where you were,
Mm-hmm.
and it just
Whew.
misses.
Okay.
And then I will see if she blinks. She does! She vanishes.
Lorna grumbles. God damn it. But
Okay.
she can't see, so she's
She
probably gonna pick
cannot
a random.
see.
She's gonna probably pick a random spot to reappear, which means that Lorna can't predict where she's gonna reappear.
Unfortunately, yes.
Lorna is going to hold a chill touch for when she finally reappears.
Okay. Let's see here. Alright. Does she get a save on blindness at the end of her turns?
Let me see. At the end of each of its turns, the target can make a Constitution saving throw. Yes.
Okay. What's your DC?
17.
Okay, she reemerges, still blind.
Does that mean I get to bap her?
You get... Yeah.
Do I get advantage because she's blind?
Mm-hmm.
Hooray! That's a 27 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
9 points.
9 points of damage. Okay. She now has a sense of direction, vaguely, because that came from you.
I mean, can I move? As part of my action?
Yes, but again, you'd have to roll stealth.
That's fine.
Okay.
13. I didn't roll very well.
You see the corner of her lips quirk as she turns towards you when you step. You hear your shoes just like scrape on the straw mat.
Fucking straw mats.
And she casts another Burning Hands, and you need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy. Oh, Lorna! 8.
8.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm getting down to the wire here.
Yeah, let's see how much she does. You take 10 points of fire damage.
Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. I am concentrating on blindness, so I will make my roll.
Okay.
Succeed. 18.
Okay. See if she saves. She can't save on the blindness. Does she go back? Nope. She does not. She stays where she is. It's your turn.
I'm deciding how fucked up a fireball would be. I'm not gonna do that. She's just going to cast another chill touch.
Okay, you have an advantage.
I love that for me. 28 to hit.
Yeah, you hit.
So close to a natural 20. Yeah, 12.
As the necrotic damage bites into her, she drops to one knee, and she basically, like, holds her hands up in protest, blind, looking in all directions, and she says, all right, I yield.
Lorna will drop the blindness. That was obnoxious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Lorna will stick out her hand to help her up.
She's real fucked up, but she does stand back up, holding her sign where the chill touch bit into her.
Sorry.
And she says, all right, a deal's a deal. Ugh. And she, like, pulls her spell book off of her hip, and she hands it to you.
Oh, thank you. How did you like that first spell I did?
I've never seen anything like it. It was...
That's because it's a Lorna original.
You made that spell. That spell.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. That was... You hit very hard.
I know, that was the point. See, I did this, like, reverse psychology thing when we were, like, bantering before the fight, where I was like, I'm gonna punch you, and then you were like, what? what? And then I showed you my arms, and they're all like dinky. And then I punched you, and it hurt.
You do still have dinky arms, but I see it. I see the value.
She will open Tulia's spellbook with like a respect and reverence that comes from like, you know, the work and the hours and just the culmination of all of this passion that all wizards have for their work.
Yeah.
And she will start kind of paging through and say, "So I can just pick something?"
Anyone you like. And this is the spellbook.
Dang, okay. Ooh, that could be useful. These could all be useful.
She, like, nods as she drinks a potion.
Mm-hmm. Aha, you also had blindness, deafness.
I didn't want to concentrate on it, so I just tried to use the color spray.
I think I have that spell. Let me see if I have this one already. And if it's just not prepared. I do. Okay. Damn, I have a lot of spells.
Weird flex, but alright.
How about she'll stop on animate dead?
Okay.
That seems fucked up. I'm all for it.
Is that the one you'd like?
Yeah.
Alright. And she takes the spellbook back, pulls the spell out of it,
Oh, it's
and
for
hands it to
keeps.
you. Yes.
Oh. She'll kind of take it like cringing at the torn page from her book. Oh, all right. Oh, I'm so glad that you couldn't see mine. You might have taken the spell I made. That would have been so sad.
It would have been useful, but
I mean, do you think you'd use it?
she blinks and looks at you and says, Probably, if I found the use for it, yes. I've tried to use all the spells that I've learned, and some of them are more useful than others.
Yeah. I mean, like if you had like the supplies for like copying it, I wouldn't mind. Is that weird?
No, You sure?
I mean, how else am I gonna get it out there if no one else uses it but me?
What level of spell is it?
That's third level.
It'll take me all night, but if you're alright with waiting...
Yeah, we were going to leave tomorrow.
Alright.
Lauren's like a little giddy. She wants my spell. Only Tavernak's taken her spell before. This is exciting for her. There was a few questions I wanted to ask, and she kind of glances at Professor Daring.
Mm-hmm. He's still seated there, just looking at the two of you.
Can I insight check him to see how he felt that fight went?
Sure.
Another fucking natural 20. 29.
He's hard to read, but he seems impressed.
Okay, because I was gonna say, he's hard to read with a 20 fucking 9. She'll hand over her book and just say, I mean, please don't tear it out, but feel free to copy
wouldn't. And you see she brings it and her own book over to a table in the corner of the room that was almost discreetly hidden, like it blended in with the wall. And she sits down at it, opening up her bag and begins pulling out ink and incense and
still with a nosebleed.
She's looking a lot better after drinking the potion.
Right. That's good.
So Tulia's doing that.
Lorna's a little singed herself.
Yeah. How low did you get?
She's at 7 hit points.
Okay. Tulia got down to 3, so.
Yeah. It was pretty evenly matched.
As she begins working on the spell, Professor Daring says, "Finding spellcrafters is uncommon. Most wizards take what they find and use them, instead of trying to apply what they learn to expand their own repertoire."
Well, I was taught by a dragon with a specialization in transmutation, and that's what I wanted to work on. And I feel like, what's the point if I don't try to make something I can be proud of?
Those of you mages out there who make their own spells, it is an honorable venture, but dangerous. For there are boundaries homemade spells that are untested can cross, and one can find they injure themselves or others they care for.
I see the wisdom in that, and it's actually a brilliant lead into something I wanted to ask you, if you
Me?
don't mind.
You did not
Uh,
know I was here.
that's true, but when I heard about this place, and she kind of looks around, I assumed that there would be a mage present who might be able to answer a question I have.
Hmm.
And that
Well,
might just be you.
roll me a persuasion check.
Okay. Awful. Just awful. That's a fucking 10. I rolled a 2.
I will say it depends on the question.
I suppose that's fair. There is a spell I've come across in my studies and in my life that has eluded me. Its explanation, its purpose, its creation. And I'm just not at the level at which I can understand. I thought perhaps someone with more experience might be able to take a look at it and tell me what they see.
You have it on your person.
I do.
Well, I can at least take a look. It's the least I could do. I admit some curiosity.
Lorna will nod and say, "Is this a room where you conduct all your affairs?"
It is.
Hey, just kind of a sidelong glance at Tulia, but at least she's working.
Oh, she is
I'm assuming.
not paying attention to anything you're doing.
Right. So Lorna will kind of pat over with her hand rummaging through her bag, and she'll pull out a Lily's journal and page through it until she finds her birth certificate, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The copy of the spell that made her, that is clone but isn't quite clone, and she tried studying it in Tabernac's library once a million years ago and basically gave herself a nosebleed and hasn't tried since. He will take it and push it towards him.
Okay. He looks at it on the page, and he rolls an Arcana. Draconic. Noble magic. Old infernal. Crossed with celestial. Interesting. I see a blending of schools. A binding of necromancy with conjuration. This is similar to the clone spell.
Right?
But it is different.
That's what eludes me. I'm not sure how or why.
Well. and he looks closer at it, and he then turns, and it seems as though he plucks it from nowhere. He pulls a book from nothing, and he opens it up.
Where are these things in this room coming from?
You don't know.
Maybe Skolno went to where these things are stored.
I see. Instead of... Do you understand how the clone spell works?
More than most, I'd say, but I couldn't cast it myself.
Yes. Instead of this modification, instead of a safeguard. Right. Here is the difference.
Lorna leans forward eagerly.
He points at some of the symbols on the outside, and then looking at it, you get like that horrible, like fuzz.
That high-pitched whine.
Yeah, basically.
Hmm.
Instead of a safeguard being prepared, the intention with this spell is that one ends their own life, or ends the life the spell is being cast upon, and the life begins anew within a new body, aging being reset, despite the appearance of a full adult. Nightingale's rebirth.
Oh, it says that.
That is what these runes mark.
So, when you say if it's cast upon, the caster can cast it upon themselves if they wished.
If they wished, but they would immediately perish.
But that seems to be the intention.
It seems... there is a key here. Unfortunately, it seems as though to extend one's life, one must perish should they cast this on themselves, along with the binding of another life force that is expended upon the casting of the spell.
No, a sacrifice.
The expense of a soul.
But not the casters.
No.
Should they cast on themselves?
The caster soul is the one preserved within the new form.
Mm-hmm.
The new form being the appearance of a full adult at their prime.
Is it always... their new form, is it always identical to their previous, or can they influence that somehow?
It is the caster's choice.
I see. And it's only one soul that they need to proffer in order to make this spell successful.
This is powerful necromancy.
I know.
How did you come across this?
It's a family heirloom.
Frightening heritage, that. I believe, from what I'm seeing, the caster chooses. One soul is expended. But if the caster is performing it on someone else, there is the question of willingness. What are you hoping to learn here? This is well beyond your means. No
I
offense.
agree. It is not something I ever wish to perform myself.
He's
But-
insight checking you right now. Roll persuasion or deception, please.
It's honestly complicated because I don't... Does Lorna expect to cast this spell? She's not, 100% certain that she ever will. But I guess to say that she's saying now outwardly, I never plan to. But internally she said she doesn't know for certain whether she would or not, so she would be lying. So I will roll that, and I rolled terribly. 6 plus 11 is 17.
Okay.
He rolled way better, didn't he?
I'm not going to tell you that.
I know.
You can't ask these questions.
I
You'll just be
know.
disappointed. He looks at you and he says, "So, what are you hoping to gain?"
There is, as you say, dark history that is connected with this magic, and as I said, it's something that happened in my family, and I'm trying to reconcile some mistakes that were made.
Stakes bound to a spell of this darkness. I am unsurprised.
And it comes with trying to understand what the intention of the original maker of the spell was. What were they trying to do? How did it work?
At first glance, it looks as though an attempt by someone to gain immortality at the cost of other people's lives. But there are markers here. There are runes that describe the reaching for a target one cannot see, one knows of, one by true name, one by finding, which would increase the difficulty of the spell dramatically. So, it looks as though, based on what I'm seeing, if someone were to cast the spell, as they would in the nature of true resurrection, a powerful evocation spell that can be used to bring someone back to life, so long as they died within the last 100 years. This spell, the duration would only be limited by the number of souls spent to find that person.
That's what I thought you were going to say. The more souls willing to be sacrificed. Not the souls themselves that are willing, but the caster is willing to sacrifice.
The number of people willing to die for a spell, or have been killed for a spell. Is one life worth that of others?
But that depends to who's casting.
So it is. And to a necromancer, the only thing that matters is that they get what they achieve.
Seems like it.
This is a very dark spell, Miss Halloweth.
Did I tell you that? She didn't tell him that, did she?
No.
Can I insight check him?
Sure.
Okay. Like, she goes a little cold hearing that name when she had not introduced herself as such. Terrible. 16. That's not terrible, but he's probably really good.
He looks serious. He looks like he's read some very dark magic.
She would just say, I didn't introduce myself as Miss Halloweth.
No, you did not.
How do you know that?
I have connections. Have you met Maxwell?
Yes.
He's spoken of you. I wasn't sure of who you were until this.
I see. So, it's just information making its way through the copper mask.
Careful where you say that name.
I would say the same to you.
Well, this is my school. I warn you, with powerful necromancy such as this, there are people who if they knew you had a spell such as this in your possession. A spell that could rival those of lichdom, they would take it from you.
I know.
You have extended some trust by showing it to me, then. Or you are very foolish.
Definitely the first one.
I will reach out to Maxwell and let him know that you've been here and bested my apprentice.
That should count for something.
Well, I only have the one right now, so perhaps he'll send more. Regardless, I hope I answered your questions. And he closes the book.
She'll take it back, shove it into her bag of holding. You definitely enlightened me.
There is one. A woman whom I'd heard might have had access to such necromancy.
Oh?
One that had fallen on complicated times. Do you recognize the name Lorna?
I do. Did you know her?
Personally, no. You hear stories. Stories that they had caused a problem in Shona.
In Shona. Did that have anything to do with the Hammerleys?
Yes. What do you know?
I know a little bit. Something about like 20 murders. If I remember correctly, it's been a minute.
Something like that. And having a violent confrontation with the hammer.
I recall that she was traded for the hammer to the Seventh Trellis.
That's not what I heard.
I didn't know that they had an altercation.
I don't know much about the Seventh Trellis. But I do know the story is that Lorna rendered the hammer from inside out.
Oh.
And then vanished.
Well, you wouldn't stick around, would you?
No. The reason why this comes to mind, she said Nightingale during their confrontation.
Just the word, or was there context?
I wasn't there.
You just know the word Nightingale was mentioned.
Which was a strange thing to hear.
Does
from
stay
those
with
who were
you.
there. Why would she be speaking of a bird?
I have my theories. Do you know who might have been there that I might be able to talk to?
The Hammerleys?
I heard they're in trouble.
Oh, yes.
I don't think that will...
But I'm sure you can find a spokesperson, or perhaps one of their older sons. Maybe Greyveld Hammerley might be out and free, no longer in a cell.
Presumably not in Shona.
Most certainly not. My gamble would you might find him at an embassy in August City or in one of the other capitals, likely keeping quiet.
Right. Not someone who wants to be found very easily. I see. I'm sorry, do you know anything about this hammer person?
Let me roll history. Yes. He was a well-renowned mercenary. A Goliath of Helheim. Famous for taking on any job and crushing the skull of a red dragon with one blow.
I can't imagine why they would quarrel.
I can't either, which is why his reversing of Constitution under the name Nightingale.
Under the name Nightingale.
I don't understand.
I don't understand the connection either, but that's...
But here
Perhaps.
you are, Miss Halloweth, with a tome with extremely dark necromantic magic in it, mentioning Nightingale, and one can't help but think of someone assumed to be a necromancer performing a spell such as Finger of Death on the hammer. You see the connections?
Are you asking a question, or are you just making a statement?
I suppose I'm just muttering like an old man. Who
I do.
is Helena to you? Because you do recognize the name, yes?
I do.
You are awfully young to be studying the histories of necromancers.
Well, I told you this tome was a family heirloom, didn't I?
You did.
Suffice to say we're related.
Speaking of bad apples. Yikes.
I'm more of a pear person myself.
If you are related to Palernilismus, that is quite a family history you have.
You don't know the half of it, Lorna says, just kind of pinching the bridge of her nose.
Well, this has been awfully educational.
Hope you've heard something interesting. And I hope only people who need to know hear about it.
Who would I speak to about such things? Aside from Maxwell and...
Exactly, I didn't think Maxwell would spread it so far north, but, you know, what do I know about anything?
We used... Well, it's a company secret.
I see.
But let's just say magic isn't the fastest way to communicate important information.
I question that statement as someone who knows the sending spell, but
and how
I
often
believe
is it frustrating to be limited to 25 words?
Incredibly. Do you have a workaround?
For the sending spell? No.
Yes. Shit.
My workaround is to use mundane means.
Like a letter.
No. Well, a letter made of light, perhaps.
Does that sound like anything Lorna's ever heard of?
Roll a history check.
Letter made of light. 23.
Yes. There was a artificer who visited Remus who talked about a means of communication through towers. By shining lights from the towers, one could receive a message and piece them together using light signals. and they could cross vast distances at the speed of light as quickly as a recorder could make note of the light message they were receiving and pass it on.
So, am I wrong to say it sounds like Morse code?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay, so
Except
it's
you
light Morse code, not it's less sound and more visual.
you know, with your high intelligence and that history check, and knowing the Copper Mask and Maxwell, Thieves' Cant has a almost like binary tap signal they use for communication.
You could translate it into visual breaks
Yes, you
and
could.
light. Lorna would nod. Ah.
He
Interesting.
called them semaphore towers.
Semaphore.
Yes.
Lorna would just repeat that.
She is educated. We use them. They were an experiment by the Aurelian military, and they've left them alone, deeming them inadequate. We don't think so.
I should say so. Interesting. I might look into that.
Be careful who you ask. Again,
I've learned a lot about that in this conversation.
well, knowing you are friends with Maxwell does allow me some lenience, but I can say, maybe don't mention it outside the company.
I understand.
I do see that your, well, domestic rogue probably knows the secrets herself.
Is Skolna, like, visually anywhere around here?
Roll a perception.
Like, has she popped back up? He's obviously seen her at least once. 17. Probably knows her from Maxwell.
She's leaning against the wall, like 10 feet away.
Yeah, probably.
She nods.
Yes. There we go.
Well, my training room is open to you. We do frequently have a food vendor stopping by, and he looks up at, like, the clockwork widget at the top, and he says, in about maybe 20 minutes, you're welcome to grab some food as you wait for Tulia to finish with your spell book.
I appreciate that. Thank you,
It has been
Professor
a pleasure.
Daring. Has it? Insight.
Roll insight.
15.
He's very suspicious of you.
I'm just a wee lass.
He's aware there's more going on than you're letting on, but he's also aware that you're aware there's more going on than he's letting on, so he's...
Yeah. So Lorna will just say, as I've placed my trust in you, you've placed your trust in me.
Let's hope we are not foolish to do so.
I don't think so. She'll kind of give like a... You know, would you say that nobility from different regions of the world would have kind of their own way of... They'd have their own mannerisms, right? Like,
Absolutely.
that would kind of signify... She would give a very Ceresian, like, departure gesture.
Yeah. He just... Surprises, surprises. And he gives you an Aurelian one.
Oh, so he wasn't lying where he was from, but Lorna was.
Yeah. You have some time to kill while you wait for Tulia to finish inscribing a 3rd level spell, which will take a while, so...
Yeah. And I'm not leaving my book here with her, so
Yeah,
Lorna's gonna kind of hobble over to Tara and be like, I have ouchies.
What you do? Or do you need a touch-up?
Yeah.
Alright, sit still, let's have a look at you. And he will heal you.
You got me right here.
Oh, look at you, you poor little thing. He's gonna cast Cure Wounds on you. Let's see. Okay. You heal for 18.
Hooray! As he's like touching her up and applying ointment and things like that, she's gonna look at her group and say, "So how was my fight? Do you have any notes?"
Anscombe speaks up and he says, "We really need to work on your punching form."
What? That was the part of the fight I was proudest of.
Your blows did a lot of damage, but it wasn't because they were aimed well.
Right, they were a little wild. I do agree. I mean, I was blind for part of it.
It looked like you were swatting at bees. We'll we'll work on it.
Okay.
That was a very clever way of using your magic, though. Blinding her, that was the right move.
Honestly, I didn't think of it until she blinded me, and I was like, wow, that was annoying.
Maybe remember that next time we're in a scuffle. You can use it properly against something that might stab me. Maybe?
I'll consider it.
Great. Good enough.
Nore says,
Good foresight. Guessing where she might appear? And readying yourself for that? It's a good way to deal with the spell, like... well, whatever that was. That she was disappearing and reappearing.
Blink.
Blink?
Yes.
I've not heard of that. But seems real annoying to deal with. But you handled it
Yes. Lorna is beaming with pride.
you just see Skolna, who's like leaning against the wall still. She literally just holds up a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Lorna is even more proud at that.
Question.
Hmm?
Which spell are you taking?
Oh, I took Animate Dead.
Really?
I actually knew quite a few of the spells that she had. I knew Alter Self, Arcane Lock, Blindness, Deafness, Blur. Oh, I should have taken Clouded Daggers. Shit. Well, it's too late now.
Well, I mean, sure, we can find that at some point.
It's true, and, what's one zombie or two?
Nore, like, kind of flips her flute in her fingers and says, I can cast that.
Oh! Hey, we could do a whole thriller sequence.
No, I can cast Cloud of Daggers.
Oh. Alright.
I got no intention of truck with corpses, thanks.
Does Lorna know that... I mean, obviously she would know that Ceres and necromancy don't jive.
Yeah.
Does she know that... Aren't they, like, illegal there? Like, necromancy spells are, like, finable?
Yeah, she would know that.
Well, this is her rebel showing, I guess.
You need to have a specific, like, license to have necromancy spells in your spellbook. And sorcerers are, like, carefully watched in case they can cast necromancy spells.
Develop
innately.
in the direction.
Yeah. Like, it's different with a wizard, because with a wizard you can take the spell out of their book.
Choice.
But with a sorcerer, if they can innately cast it, they're basically put on a watch list.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Ceres
so
does not fuck around when it comes to undead.
Lorna's just holding the spell in her hands, and she's kind of getting like, I'm not supposed to have this. At least as far as Sarisians go.
So, Anscombe sees you being like that, and he just like, you're very cute.
There's a tabooness to it that you wouldn't understand if you hadn't grown up where I did.
You're right. You're holding the key to controlling a corpse, and you're giddy about it, and it's very cute.
Now I feel like you're weird. You've made this weird.
He just like raises an eyebrow and has like a small smirk on his face. And Tia looks at him and says, He's learning. He's learning how to give you a hard time. Look at that.
He's getting lessons from the master, and she just kind of gives Tiara a look.
That he is. You handle the roast so well, I had to try.
Who doesn't love a good roast? Speaking of dinner.
Skolna speaks up and says, He said vendor.
Vendor.
Let's see what they got.
Yeah. Lorna will pass the time dicking around with her friends while they wait for
Yeah,
Tulia.
you guys goof off.
Yeah.
At one point, like, Skolna tries to poke you in the back where you got the tattoo, and it hurts really bad.
Oh, I didn't even use this!
Yeah, Skolna's like, why didn't you fly?
I didn't even think about it. Shit. Hey, Tulia.
Yeah? She, like, looks up from the middle of inscription.
I was gonna use this. I just got this, and I completely forgot, and she's just gonna jump in the air, and the wings are just gonna unfurl.
The wings spread. They look almost like translucent, as though it's as if the tattoo of the wings comes to life. They're black and white, pulling off of your back, extending through your robes and clothes. Magically, it looks as though you have nightingale wings that spread out wide and far, wide enough to lift you off the ground, and you just take off. And she's looking at you and she says, "All right, why didn't you use that?"
I forgot! She says as she kind of like Doppler effects, like her voice gets louder when she gets closer to Tulia, and then further away as she flies away.
That's a magical tattoo, isn't it? Those are expensive.
I know!
She, like, seems a little bit dumbstruck.
As she passes by where Professor Daring is seated, can I, like, insight check him? Does he recognize the bird that her wings are based off of?
He wasn't paying attention. He's like...
She's a bird!
He's like a very high-level mage. He's seen...
Alright, he's just unimpressed.
I will roll to see if he is interested. No. His face is down in the tome.
Oh, whatever.
You see, he has like a quill that he's like working in a tome. He has another tome on the ground next to him. He's sitting crisscross applesauce, and there is like a cup of hot tea on the ground next to him. He's not paying attention.
The concentration I wish I had in college.
Yeah. So you insight check him. He doesn't care what you're doing.
Yeah, she just keeps flying.
So we're basically on your schedule here. You've had the duel, and you've learned a few things about Polerna and also the Nightingale's rebirth. So what do you do next?
After she gets her spellbook back from Tulia, she will, it was a great fight. It was really close. Thank you for inviting me.
Next time you're in town, I'm going to challenge you again, and I'm going to win. But thank you.
When we do fight again, I hope to see that spell in action.
Oh, I'm going to clobber you.
Alright, do you have any thoughts on what your material component will be?
No, I'd have to think about it. My first thought was maybe... She, like, considers it for a long moment. Does it matter how big it is?
It just has to be a value worth.
So it could be... It could be anything small. Like, I could do it like a gemstone?
As long as, I believe, 70 or 75 gold pieces worth.
So what about, like, a black sapphire?
That would be amazing.
That's what I'll do.
You'd look so cool.
I like this. She smiles again, and then she says, "No one's ever just given me a spell before, so thank you."
Honestly, it was my pleasure.
Punch
someone in the face with it.
Oh, I will. Your spellbook has a lot more spells in it than mine. I hope you found one you could use.
I did. It'll be fun to play with.
Okay.
She says in regards to corpses again.
Yeah.
Like a fucking psycho.
It's been fun. And she holds a hand out to you.
Lorna will shake.
Okay. As you part ways from the Alchemedia, we'll go back to the Shore Watch map. It is now late evening.
Oh yeah, they took a whole day.
Yeah.
Dicking around in Shore Watch.
It took 3 hours for her to inscribe that spell because it's a 3rd level spell. So it's like 9 o'clock.
We haven't seen Modi in like 18 hours.
Yeah.
So Lorna will look at the group and say, "All right, we're gonna get a good night's sleep at the inn, and then we're gonna head back."
Head back to Fareham, yeah?
Right, we could have a paycheck to collect, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We have to pick up Modi. Or do we?
We do. Well, no, we're stopping at the inn tonight to sleep, where
Right.
Modi was supposed to meet us, and then we'll all leave together. Presumably.
Okay. Also, Lanscombe kind of like leans down next to you and he says, I really want to get a good look at that tattoo.
Shall we?
Yeah.
She says, gesturing for everybody to hurry up.
Your party follows you back to the tavern.
Her voice breaking like a 12-year-old boy in puberty.
As you get back to the tavern, is there anything you want to do tonight, or shall we proceed?
We shall proceed.
Okay, roll me D100.
Yes, sir. 41.
41. Okay. No big deal. We can expedite things a little bit here.
Okay.
As you make your way back to the tavern, you do find Modi is back at the tavern.
It's probably just like, where the fuck have you been?
No, he's doing something weird.
Okay.
He's
That sounds like Modi.
You see a lot of people are like staring at him. He's at a table by himself. He has like a plate of food in front of him, and he's picking up bites of food, so Modi's jaw is mechanical, and when he opens his mouth wide, there's like an orange light that emits from within.
Mm-hmm.
He holds
Like
the
a
food.
furnace.
Yeah, kind of. He holds the food in his mouth, and you watch as that food, like a bite of chicken, seems to disintegrate into blue energy that then just goes into his mouth somehow. It's peculiar to watch. And when you all approach, he like sets the fork down and he says, "Hello."
Hello, Modi. Have a good day.
"Oh, yes."
Put in some good work for now.
"I did.
Fantastic.
We found 2 more cultists."
Oh, that's fantastic. Did you hear about the halfling that we left at the camp?
"He has been resurrected."
Lorna looks relieved, like some guilt has been lifted off of her. Like there's still some for the one that couldn't save, but that's great.
"You have all done very well, and I want to thank you properly. I know that sometimes mercenaries receive a bonus when they perform a task well, and I've already paid Persh what you will receive, but this is something I thought you should have." And he sets a pouch in the middle of the table.
Oh, thank you, Modi.
"You are welcome. I hope it serves you well."
She will kind of take it.
It feels like there's like rocks in it. When
I
you
bet it's rocks. She'll open it.
Well, it is a kind of rocks. It is a bag of gems.
Oh. Well, thank you.
You are welcome.
You've been a pleasure to work with.
You lie interestingly.
I meant that sincerely. I'll roll persuasion if you want me to.
No, he just doesn't believe you.
Oh. I meant that, Modi.
He like kind of sadly frowns and shakes his head and he says, "Okay."
Lorna looks a little put out. She kind of enjoyed him after, like, he became like a flavor that she liked.
He doesn't.
Man, this guy's damaged.
Apparently.
Oh.
He then says, "I'll not be returning with you to Farum.
Oh, I see.
Her Grace calls that I serve here for now."
All right, well, we're going to rest up this evening and we'll head out in the morning.
"Of course. Would you like a drink?"
Yes. They'll spend the evening with Modi.
Yeah. As you do, you notice Anscombe sits real close to you and is very, like, he's bumping into you a lot. He's joking at you. Like, he's...
Mm-hmm.
It seems as though he has been paying attention to Tierra because he's...
The good-natured ribbing.
Yeah, there's more of it. And Anscombe is not as good at it as Tierra's, but anytime it seems like Lorna genuinely chuckles, it seems like Anscombe's face just lights up.
Oh. He's getting more comfortable.
Yes, he's relaxing a bit.
Oh.
You spend the night at the tavern,
Mm-hmm.
and all that implies,
Mm-hmm.
and make your way back towards Ferrum.
Mm-hmm.
As you are returning to Ferrum, we can expedite that travel, but that is where we will end tonight's session.
Okay.
And next session, you will be back in Ferrum after maybe a week's travel. So, let me go ahead and pull this up. Thank you for playing with me tonight. I hope you had a good time. There were some tense reveals there.
I won a duel and I learned some things.
You did. I will say, had that conversation gone a little bit worse, that could have been a bad thing. But
Yikes.
you turned
Damn.
it turned out to be okay. So,
Like, where was the pivotal moment?
you'll have to re-listen and you might catch it.
Okay.
Thank you for playing. And to those of you who are at home or at work listening, hi, Pen.
Hi, Pen. What the fuck?
We love you all, and I hope you have a good night.